Hey everyone, and welcome. In this video, we're going to take a look at how we can create a customizable light that we can toggle on and off with blueprints. So let's go ahead and get started. I have the first person template project up, but you can use any project that you would like. I'm going to fly into a dark area here so that we can see our light a little bit better. First thing that we're going to do is hop over to the modes panel, make sure that we are in placement mode. And down on the basic tab, we're going to grab an empty actor here and just left click and drag and drop that into our level. Now, inside the details panel for that empty actor, we're going to add some components to it. So let's click the Add Component button, and let's add a point light. Now it's asking me for a new name. I think point light is good enough, so I'm going to leave it as that. I'm going to scroll down in the details panel here, and under rendering, there's an option for visible. You can see it's on by default. If I uncheck that, you can see that our light turned off in our level here. Let's recheck it and uncheck it again. We're going to leave it off by default because we're going to turn it on when the player enters a trigger box component that we will add in a moment. So with that, I'm actually going to drag our light up off the floor here, first of all. And the next thing we're going to do, let's add another component. And in the search components search bar here, let's search for a box. And let's use the box collision. This is going to be our trigger box. So let's call this one trigger, actually. And inside the level here, you can see it's kind of small. So I'm going to hit R to go into scale mode. And we're going to left click on this white box in the center here and just drag to make our trigger box much larger. I think that's good enough. And inside the details panel, we're going to click the Blueprint Add Script button. This will create a brand new blueprint out of these components that we can add script to. So let's go ahead and click that. It's going to ask us for a new name. I'm actually going to rename this as well. Let's call this the Light Blueprint. And hit the Create Blueprint button. It's going to create a brand new blueprint inside the content browser for us and also open up a new tab across the top here. So let's click that tab. And this is the blueprint editor. We are currently on the viewport tab of the blueprint editor. You can see our light component and our box trigger component. Let's hop over to the event graph actually, because this is where we provide the actual script for our blueprint. Now by default, there's a couple nodes in here that are kind of grayed out. They just come standard by default with this type of blueprint. We're not going to worry about those. We're going to hold down the right mouse button though and drag below them so that they are off screen because we're not going to touch any of those. And in the My Blueprint panel over here on the left, you can see our trigger component and our point light component. Let's actually select our trigger component. And in the details panel over here on the right, you can see there are some events that we can add to our blueprint graph here. And we're going to use the onComponentBegin overlap and the onComponentEnd overlap. So let's click the plus sign next to onComponentBegin overlap. And you can see a new node has been added. And let's select our trigger again. This time we're going to right click on it though. And you can see we also have those same events that we can add, just a shortcut. I'm going to use this instead. So let's select the Add onComponentEnd overlap this time. So now that we have both of those nodes, we need something to affect with these triggers. That's going to be our point light here. So let's hold Control and drag our point light into the graph here and release the left mouse button. And now with our point light in our graph here, let's left click and drag off of it and release, and you're going to be presented with a context menu. Now the context menu, there's several options in here. We're only going to worry about a couple of them. Inside the search bar here, let's search for Set Visibility or Set Viz. You can see there's that rendering option for the visibility, so let's go ahead and select that. And on this new node, there are a couple options. We're not going to worry about them just yet. We're actually going to hit Control-C to copy it, and then Control-V to paste it. And drag off of our point light again and connect that to the target here. You can see the green check mark to make sure that we are connected. Once you release the left mouse button, it'll be connected like so. Let's hop up to this node here. And for the new visibility, let's hit this checkbox here. And what we're going to do now is for our onComponentBegin overlap for the trigger, when the player begins overlapping it, let's connect this executable to the set visibility. So when we overlap it, this will get fired and our point light, which is the target, will have its light visibility set to true. Down on the one down here at the bottom, the end overlap, let's just connect this like so. When we stop overlapping our trigger, let's set the visibility for our point light to false. So there we go. We can hit compile. Our light is now working if we were to play in the editor. But before we do that, let's just make a couple quick adjustments for customization of this blueprint. We're actually going to hop over to the construction script here. which looks a little bit similar, but the construction script functions just a little bit different than our event graph here. The construction script actually fires when any modifications are made to this particular blueprint. So what we're going to do, we're going to grab our point light again. We're going to hold Control and just drag it in. And we're going to drag off of it by holding the left mouse button and releasing. And we're going to search for Set Visibility again. So let's go ahead and select that. And we're going to add a couple other things here for customization. Let's drag off of it and let's search for Set Intensity. And let's go ahead and select that. This is the actual brightness of the light. So let's go ahead and select that. Let's drag off point light one more time and let's search for Set Light Color. So let's go ahead and select this option and move it up here like so. So there you go. We have the visibility, the intensity or brightness, and the color. So what we're going to do, let's grab the executable on the construction script here, and let's just connect all of these together. The last bit of business that we have for this is we could set all of these here, but we're going to make these variables that we can edit inside the editor. So let's go ahead and do that really quickly. Drag off the new visibility here and release. And there's an option for promote to variable. Go ahead and select that. And a new node will be added called new var. Let's actually hop to the details panel over here and let's rename this. Let's just call this light toggle. And under the editable checkbox, let's go ahead and check this. And you can see it says whether this variable is publicly editable on instances of this blueprint. So let's go ahead and check that. And for the new intensity, let's do the same thing. Let's drag off this and promote to variable. I'm going to move this down here just so it's not hiding behind the other node. In the details panel, let's rename this. Let's call this light intensity and make sure that it is editable. And one more, let's do that for the light color here. Drag off, promote to variable, and let's move it down. Let's rename this to light color, because that is appropriate. And make sure that it is editable. And there you go. Gonna center this up here so you can kind of see this. So once we hit compile here, watch what happens to our construction script. So let's hit compile. And you can see that it has the construction script has been fired and updated each of these nodes and our variables here. So what that did is if we hop over to the level again now, we have our blueprint that is in our level. And if we look in the details panel now, we have a couple of new options that we can modify for this particular blueprint. So let's go to the light color here and let's change the color. Let's just change it to green, for example. And for the intensity, it's currently set to 0. Let's change that. Let's bump that up to, say, 5,000. And if I hit the light toggle button, you can see that our light now turns on or turns off. Let's leave it off by default. And what we can do, let's fly to the other side here. And let's left click and drag in a copy of our blueprint here. I'm going to hit W to go to the move tool and just move it up. And now we can set those same properties on this particular instance of this blueprint. So let's go ahead and hit this, the color picker here. And we're going to change this one to, let's change it to red, a reddish color. For the light intensity, let's go ahead and set that to 5,000 as well. We could have did a different one, but I think that's fine. If I hit the light toggle, you can see there is our red light. I'm going to uncheck it just for now. So we have our two lights in our corner here. Going to hit play to play in the editor and run over there and turn on our light, and that one is red. As I exit, it turns off. Gonna go to this one, and this one should turn on green. Yes, it does, and it turns off. So there you go. You have a customizable light that you can turn on and off through the details panel. You can set the brightness of it, and you can set the color of it for various instances of that blueprint in your level. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and thank you for watching.